Oh, welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. I'm Jack, and today's episode we're joined by a very special guest, current professional hockey player in the Union Hockey League with the Boston Gold Kings, TJ Felix. TJ has spent this past summer going to free agent camps in the FPHL and the Federal Prospects Hockey League, and he finally landed himself a spot in the newly formed Union Hockey League with the Boston Gold Kings. So it's really good to see him sign there. And like before that, he was in the military, he was in the army. So like he has a crazy story to how he got into playing hockey and all that. So I'm really excited to dive into everything. So welcome to the show, TJ Felix.
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for having me. Super excited to be here. Like I said, I watched a few of these. I just specifically watched what you do with Sean Doyle, like because he's a beauty. So I heard the chirps a little bit, so I had to get on here. So I'm pretty pumped.
Yeah, I'm glad to finally be able to get you on. Like I know you've been wanting to come on, so what
Yeah.
better time than to do it now? But like how have you been?
Man, I've been great. I'd never been to Mass before, so like when I came out here for the tryout and they told me I made it, I like went back to Colorado. Week and a half later, I'm back out here, and the culture is so different here, man. It's pretty unreal. It's an amazing city. A little expensive, but what place isn't nowadays. But no, it's super awesome. Like I love the city. I love the history here, and like the Boston sports fans. I mean, we're like a semi minor league team, and the fans come out for us and show us some love and stuff like that. So like the Boston fans, they're so loyal to their team. So it's pretty awesome to obviously have that and have this great city behind us.
Yeah, so like what is it like having like that Boston sports fans behind you, and especially in like a newer league when it's like the first year of the league and you're just gaining traction.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is like just everywhere in Mass. Like we're probably like 20 minutes from the city, and even these guys out here just create like I can't go down the street and everybody's wearing like a Patriots hoodie or a Red Sox hat. So like they're just crazy sports fans out here, and obviously you got the Bruins and stuff like that. So you'd think like they only care about like the top leagues, but they care about like every level of like semi-pro to like single A to whatever it is, whatever sport. They're like diehard loyal. So it's pretty awesome to have those guys kind of like it'd be like here in New York, like those two like cities to play in there is pretty legit. So I think it's pretty awesome.
Have you gone to any of like the Bruins, Patriots, Celtics games, any of those yet?
So I did go. I went to the Bruins Maple Leafs. That one was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I've been waiting to see Austin Matthews and those guys play in person. I just didn't get a chance to go against like the Avs because I went to a bunch of Avs games living in Colorado.
Yeah.
So I went to that and got to kind of knock out two birds just to see the Garden. I mean, the Garden's just unreal. Like it's the Garden. I mean, there's not much more you could say about it. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's unreal that you got to experience like the true Boston culture because it's a different culture out there, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a big culture change. So if you're not used to like the big cities or a lot of people, like maybe like just don't come here right away. I don't know. So like I thought it was awesome though.
That's great that it was awesome. But I want to get into like hockey and like your time in
Let's
the
do
army
it.
a little bit here. So like you're originally from Colorado. So like what was growing up in Colorado like for you?
So I was actually born and raised in Anchorage, Alaska.
Oh,
I'm yeah, basically I know everybody likes like, oh my God, Alaska. No, so I was born and raised in Anchorage, and then the military took me to Colorado, and I would just stay it out there because I mean it's a beautiful place. And all my friends and family there, and then started playing hockey there, and just kind of like picked it up a little bit in beer league, and then hearing about these like other minor leagues like the Fed and stuff like that. So I just kind of like I guess like let's see what happens. So yeah, it was pretty cool, I guess.
yeah. What was living in Alaska like? Like you're obviously like just in like in a sacred place over there where it's just nothing, not no other states are over there. It's like what do you do in
Okay.
Alaska there?
So Anchorage, obviously being the biggest city, it was like pretty nice. I loved Alaska. It's always home. My mom's still there. I'm gonna go there for the holidays. Obviously, it's pretty special. Um, I think like I think the biggest thing for me was like when I joined the military, and I got to basic training. Like I never had Chick-fil-A. Like I didn't even know what it was. and like it was amazing. Like it changed my life. So I was like, I could never live in Alaska again because I can't lose Chick-fil-A. um, but no, I mean, it's pretty awesome. Like, for the people that have like even just traveled there, maybe never lived there, like everybody's like, oh, it's so beautiful, like it's an amazing place. And um I do hate some of the stereotypes. Like, I had a kid, he was like, you guys ride like polar bears to school. I was like, dude, shut up. Like, that's not true. Come on now. Like, stuff like that. So I think for me, it was obviously like it's a surreal place, and to have like been born and raised there and experience like that in life, and then come to like the lower 48s, or living in Colorado, big city, living in Boston now, big city. It's pretty special, pretty unreal.
Yeah, no, Alaska is so many amazing views with the mountains and everything. The ocean's right there.
Yeah.
Like that place just seems like it was just breathless. Like anywhere you go, it's like you're just speechless with
Yeah.
the views.
Yeah, no, it's just unreal. And seeing like the Northern Lights as a kid, like as an adult now, I'm like, oh, I've seen them so many times. But like people are like, oh my god, I like want to see the Northern Lights, so that kind of thing. But it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty awesome, and to have already like kind of crossed that off my bucket list, like because now it's like a one less place I got to go. So
Yeah.
to see that is pretty cool.
Yeah, apparently the other day there was supposed to be you could see the northern lights here in New York, but I was trying to
Yeah,
see and you didn't see anything, but you have more of a chance to see it over here than back in Illinois where I'm from.
right. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but then you go into the military with the army. So like what was that journey like and just bringing you into the army? Like what made you go into it and like stuff like that?
Yeah. Basically, my older brother is playing college baseball at the time, and he was in a school in Minnesota, and then he went to a school in California. And he's like a student athlete through and through. I mean, that dude like lived baseball, like that was his thing. And I think like I saw how much he struggled, and part of the reason like I didn't get to play hockey growing up was just finance struggles. I'm single mom with three kids. She absolutely went above and beyond for us. I mean, we had top of the line stuff and maybe not like a top of the line paycheck, So she like broke herself, making sure we had everything we wanted, needed, and more. So seeing like his struggles and like living in California, I don't think they provide like dorms for student athletes. So basically, like my brother was like in an apartment with a bunch of teammates, and he's busting his ass to like make you know meet those needs and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I just didn't want to like really live like that. And at the time, I only played baseball to play with him. I didn't really like I liked it, but I just didn't love it.
Yeah.
Um, so obviously for like us growing up, that was like a big thing with sports. But I was just kind of like, man, I don't know what I want to do, but I just knew like I wanted to leave Alaska. Like, there's there's not a lot of attractive women up there, so you're not going to be your wife. Or anything like that. But also just like there was just isn't like a lot to offer, and that's the one downside to Alaska. Unless you have like like a crazy good career, or like you just legitimately love living there, like there's just not like a lot for you. So I think for me, I really wanted to leave, and my cousin, she joined the military, and so I was texting her on the side. I was like, hey, I'm interested in this. Like, what do you guys think I should do? And I didn't tell my mom right away. And then I went to the recruiting station and started talking to them, and I was like, damn, I can get out in like next month or two and be on my way and start a career, and something you can be proud of. My grandfather was in the military, so like for me, like he was like my best friend before he passed away. So I think he was another big reason as to like why I joined, because at first I was like, maybe I'll just like consider it, and then
Yeah.
once I got there I was just like, I think this is something I want to do. And I feel like you could definitely take pride in that. Like a lot of people, like they go to the talking stage, or maybe they'll get like to the next part, but then they're like, oh, I don't want to be in that military lifestyle, so they quit right away. And to power through, obviously, was pretty incredible. And my family had my back the whole time, so I have them to thank for that. So yeah,
Yeah, and like you're fighting for your country, like you're putting it the
yeah,
United States on your chest, and so like that's a really good thing to accomplish and like be and like hold
yeah,
close to you, especially hold close to you and your family.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think I would have changed anything about my time in the military. it was just special. I met a lot of like great people, guys like, I'd invite to my wedding, or, maybe watch my kid one day if I ever have any.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and like obviously, like you think of the army, like what were some of the biggest things you learned, like whether it be like about life, about like being in the army and having the support of everyone, like what were some of the biggest things you learned there?
Oh man. Put me on the spot here. I think
That's
one of
what
the
we do
biggest
here
things,
at On the Spot Sports.
yeah, yeah, I wasn't ready for that. No, I'm
To the
just kidding.
T.
I think for me, like one of the biggest things I learned was like, no matter like what you do in life, like appreciate all the moments you have in it.
Yeah,
I know a couple guys that passed away while they were in the military. One of them I was kind of close with. He was in a car accident in the winter and stuff like that. So, and I was 24, 23 at the time, about to be 24, and he would just turn 25. So, like, he's a great dude, and, he didn't get a chance to, like, kind of live out his life. So, just appreciating the small moments, like, you know, um, I know it's a lot of people say, like, appreciate every chance you get in life. But I think for me, like, just everything, like, the times I get to go home, like for, the holidays, and see my mom, because obviously I don't get to see her as much unless it's, like a FaceTime or something, or my aunt and uncle are up there and stuff like that. So I think, just seeing them, or like, um, even just like family FaceTimes, or, group chat kind of nights, like just those things, like just
yeah,
appreciating them, because, you never know, like, obviously, and that's just life. So,
yeah. That's pretty huge, and just
yeah,
like you learn that stuff like throughout life, like even sports teaches you that, is like you just gotta enjoy those moments, and you can't take anything for granted because you never know what could happen. Like you have a career
yeah,
ending injury the next day or whatever it may be. You just gotta enjoy like the little things and like the little moments about being there with family, hanging with the boys in the locker room, like we all love to do. Just stuff like that, like the little
exactly.
things is what makes everything the best.
Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah, like I remember growing up playing, basketball and baseball, and that was kind of just a thing for us, like, always having, always being with the boys kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, just a little escape from the real world.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Got to.
Oh yeah. But then after your time in the army, you went, or you were in Colorado because of the army, and you were on the with the Colorado Warriors throughout the time when you were
Yeah.
in Colorado. So like what got you into the game of hockey, and then growing up into the story of playing with the Colorado Warriors?
Yeah. So I actually wanted to play hockey, like, as a kid. Like, I remember coming home from school and like turning on a random NHL game, like no idea who the players are, no idea what teams are playing, but like I just love the sport. And as a kid, we had the Alaska Aces, that were in the
Yeah.
coast for a little bit. So I think, as a teenager, when they disbanded or whatever, I think they became like the Maine Mariners now. But um, no, I just like love the game. Like we played all the sport video games growing up, and we're so competitive. So playing, hockey, like I was a big Capitals fan. I don't know like where it came from, honestly. I don't know what started it, but big Capitals fan. So um, I just I just loved it. And it was the one sport that I like, if I could like maybe just go back in time, and like if we had that like financial stability back then, and it was a sport I could really like truly play and learn as a kid, I would have done it like 100 times
Yeah.
over, because I just love it so much now as an adult, that I'm like, I had to have wanted to love it as a kid, like there's just no, it wouldn't make sense any other way. Um but yeah, so basically, when I was in the military, I had a couple friends that played like this like semi-pro kind of like football league, and our commander was super cool. So he was like, as long as like we're not in the field training, or like work gets in the way, like I will sign off when you guys are traveling. So they'd go to like New Mexico, very real surrounding areas. um so I was like, damn, like let me look up something like men's league basketball, like baseball, just
Yeah.
something to do. And hockey is like one of the first things that came up. I don't know what my Google was on that day,
Destiny
but
right
like,
there.
yeah, it literally just like Monument Ice Rinks. So I was like, all right, let's check it out. And actually, the dude who runs the league, Al Peterson, played for the Bruins back, and actually put in like a Stanley Cup final game seven. So
That's
like
sick.
it's so cool. Yeah. So for me, I think it was pretty awesome to meet him. And then he like just gave me some old gear. Like I had like a pair of skates from Dick's Sporting Goods, which like FYI, don't never. I know you know, but like we'll never do that shit again.
No.
Um, but I had these like skates or whatever. So and his gear is like old. So like I had some old like Jofa shin pads, like no straps, so you got like tape it around your leg and like it's a whole thing. So using that gear, and I just started playing beer league, and within like I think within like the first like year to year and a half, like he was like, hey, so like I was playing like novice, like the lowest level, and he was like, dude, like you can't play here anymore. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you're like getting like too good, like you're scoring too much, and like some of those dudes play like their entire lives in that
Yeah.
league, or like a good amount of time, like they just don't care about progressing. And it wasn't even that I was trying to like progress. I just like was trying new things. So um yeah, I just like kind of started doing stuff and trying like new moves and whatever. And so I ended up became a ref, and then our one of the other like novice teams was doing really like way too good, so they got moved up a level, so he allowed me to play with them. Um, so yeah, we just were going, and even in that league, I got a couple texts about like, hey, like you're scoring 2-3 goals a game, and it's beer league. Like people like this is like how they work out. Like some people don't go to the
Yeah.
gym, so I was like, all right, like I don't know what you want me to do. Like, I'm not going to not like try to have fun and, try
Yeah.
to learn new moves. Like I was trying to do like, a little between the legs and go. So I was like trying random stuff, but um, yeah, it's actually, I feel like my hockey story is so funny when I tell people, especially like when I came out here and people are like, oh, you just started like playing hockey 4 years ago. Like, how did you sign to a semi-pro team? And honestly, really it's gonna sound weird, but Trevor Zegers got me into hockey. Didn't know him, like nothing like that. One of my friends growing up was like, and this is when I was in the military, texted me, he's like, hey, you need to watch like the World Juniors. And I was like, the World, what the fuck is that? Like I had no idea. And he's like, you need to watch like these guys and look for this kid, Jack Hughes. And I was like, okay, like I had no idea who Jack Hughes was. I very quickly realized who Jack Hughes was when I watched him the first time. And then they went on because I watched like one of their I think junior level games or whatever. And then
Yeah.
when they got to the World Juniors, Jack Hughes I think was already with the Devils, so he like didn't go. But like to see Zegers and Caulfield, and I like fell in love with the way Zegers played the game. I mean, when they won the gold medal, obviously like against Canada, and he had like that goal and assist, like it very much was like, wow, like this dude is like insane. And then when he got to
Yeah.
the NHL and he's just casually like hitting the Michigan, I was like, dude, what the fuck is like this kid on? Like,
Like
what
no
drugs are
no
you
pressure,
taking?
anything, just Michigan
Yeah,
all the time. Like what?
100%, man. And I'm like, and even like the clips of like kind of what he would do in like warm-ups where he like tip it to himself and like shoot between his legs. I was like, dude, what? Like you like are training like Zach Bell in the off season because like I don't know any guy that's like casually doing that. So yeah, no, I always like think it's funny when people are like, what got you into hockey? It's like I always wanted to play, but then like seeing like the World Juniors and then meeting or Googling it that one day and getting into beer league, just like it all just like happened really, really fast. So that kind of just took off. And, I love the game. I'm actually trying to like obviously get better. Hopefully I can get up to the Fed with you guys one day. That'd be like my dream come true. Obviously, to be a kid that just started playing hockey to make it
Yeah.
would be awesome. So
You just gotta keep working, keep trying new things, and never know what, and continue to trust the process and enjoy the grind because it's a lot of fun.
oh yeah, man. Like seeing your guys' like team Instagrams even like are just like you guys just look like you're having like you could lose a game and you just look like you're having fun.
Yeah,
So
it's a lot of fun here, and if you really want to get better, you're gonna do whatever it takes to get to that next level and that next step in your game. But yeah, it's crazy because Zegers is also younger than you by quite a
oh
few
yeah.
years. So like it's crazy that like he's the reason that brought you into the game of hockey.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, I'm 25 and I think he's like 22 or 23. And
Yeah,
like, yeah, I just like,
if
and the
that.
things he was doing, yeah, maybe he's like younger. I don't know. The things he's doing is just so I mean, even like, was it last year when he went between the legs, like from the
Yeah,
circle and like just buried it under? I was like, what? Like, you just can't like. He's literally like a video game in like a real man's NHL. Like
yeah.
he's just having fun. I know he's struggling a bit this season, but like I'm sure he'll find his groove very soon. Like
Oh yeah.
got a lot of faith in Z. So hopefully, if he hears this, let's go, man. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll clip this part and make sure Zegras hears it, and we'll get famous from there.
there we go. I appreciate that.
Yeah, but like, what are some of your favorite things about playing with the Colorado Warriors travel team, and just being in a group that enjoys playing hockey is and like trying to get better as well, like you?
Um, there's so much. I mean, they're such a great group of guys. So for those that don't know about like the Warrior program, basically like we're all veterans. It's more so kind of like disabled veterans. I know there's some guys that maybe don't have like physical disabilities, but like mental stuff, and just it's like the spectrum is like huge.
Yeah,
Um, and basically, yeah. So I'm playing with already like a lot of veterans, so like guys that serve like we had a lot of older dudes that were like I wasn't born when they got out. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. So you know, I think the group itself was just special. I mean, I don't know how to draw it up. Like, yeah, we'd fight sometimes and argue, but and I think it just was like we had a lot of personality on that
yeah,
team and in that organization. And um I think I sent you the picture of like our championship ring. So we ended up winning like the national championship in that like in that division. It's like so special because like we had lost every tournament that year. So you basically travel to tournaments and we slowly got better. Like the first one, I think we just got like dusted. Like it was so bad. And then I think the second one we did like I think we took like third or fourth place. And then we had like one more and then we had like nationals and we went to Detroit and basically it was kind of weird because our coach like kind of changed our game plan from what like we wanted it to be to like this other thing. So when he changed the game plan, we're like, dude, none of us prepped for this. And like now, like we could get messed up. And then we played like Philly, we beat them like 7-0. And then we played Nebraska. I think we tied 1-1. They had, you know, a couple guys that were pretty good. And then the pool's like it's weird because like you start in like a certain pool or bracket and then you like get moved or whatever. So we got moved and then we played like North Carolina and we beat them. And then we played Fort Worth. So Fort Worth already beat Carolina. So we're like the three teams in. So basically, all the winner of us in North Carolina would play Fort Worth for the championship. So we played, beat North Carolina, and then we played Fort Worth and we beat them, I think 7-2 or something like that. And then the next day for the championship, the national championship, we beat them like 7-4, I think. So but a lot of great dudes. And then you meet guys from like other Warrior teams that you're
yeah,
cool with. Like I see a lot of them like in Minnesota or stuff like that. So we go to, you know, a bunch of those places sometimes. And one of my good friends in Minnesota, he just had like a Rett syndrome tournament. So that was obviously very special because his daughter, I believe, has Rett syndrome. So like when he invited me to play, like I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. I was like, man, thank you so like I'm so
yeah.
honored to be able to play for like a cause like that and stuff. So yeah, it was just pretty cool. And like the Colorado group, I mean, there's just so many good guys and like lifelong friends that I've made. My boy Joey, learning to play with him was the easiest because he'll never pass. So like it's so easy to once 29 gets the puck and he's gone, like he's just gonna go do his own thing. But that was like super easy, and that's I feel like that's kind of why we won is like the lines we put together we knew. So it was like basically it would be like Joey would center and I would play like one of the wings, and our
Yeah.
friend Ryan would play the other wing, and Ryan would very much like kind of like look to pass first and then Joy would only shoot. So like it was easy because then it was like I got to do 50-50 of each. And it like playing with guys like that though, it's super easy because it's so balanced. Like when you have a line of three guys that are only shooters, like no one wants to give the puck
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
So to play with those guys obviously is like pretty incredible. And you know, I'm still like with the organization, like in the off season here, like I'll skate with them. And when I go home, like, you know, I'll go to practice and stuff and skate with the boys a little bit. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Like, and they're just growing. Like all the Warrior teams are growing. Colorado, I think one of our higher teams, the Alpha team, has like two national championships right now. They're just going crazy. So it's a great group to like follow on Instagram or support or whatever it is. Like those guys are like seriously like they're only getting bigger, and that's like the beautiful part of the game, especially because like again everybody's a veteran and everybody
yeah.
like we have guys that have never skated before to guys that have played like elite level juniors or like college. So to play with those guys and like learn from those higher guys is pretty special.
Yeah, it's a super cool concept just to be with like all the veterans and everything, and just that you're like, doesn't matter if you played junior hockey growing up, college hockey, like you're all on the team, just playing for the boys, playing to have fun, and then also like try to go win a national championship like you guys did earlier.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, we got the rings. I think like I didn't take mine off for probably a couple days. I mean, I know it's getting out there, but like I was definitely like let him know I
You
had them.
got
So
it
it's
though.
pretty.
You have to.
You gotta flex it, man. I mean, seriously, especially like as a kid who never played hockey, even though
Yeah.
like the Warriors, like it's like not pros, like so you don't get paid or anything, like, but to like even just win and like be a national champion and something
Yeah.
like that in itself is so special. And then the fact that our like head coaches like got together and made our championship, and those things were fat. I mean, you saw it, like those things
Yeah.
are huge.
They had a
So
lot of bling to them.
yeah, for sure. So I mean, like, it's pretty incredible, kind of like what's going on out there.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's unreal. And which then all of this led up to you playing the Union Hockey League with the newly formed UHL, the U-Haul this year with the Boston Gold Kings. So, what was the process like to get to the Gold Kings and be signed on the roster?
Man, so actually it's crazy because I had no idea about like the Fed. Like I didn't know about the Fed or the SP. And basically, I had a mutual friend who actually plays. I don't know if he still plays in the Fed, but Parker Moskal. And
Yeah,
basically, I we had a mutual friend over Facebook, so I like sent him a message over Messenger. I was like, "Hey, man, like, you know, kind of like, what's the Fed like? I think I'm gonna go to this camp." And he's like, basically just said like, "Be yourself. Don't do anything that's outside of your game. Try to just be you." And I'm sure at the time, like, because we don't know each other like that well, he's probably like, "Oh, this kid's played somewhere before," and I 100% had not. So
yeah.
he's probably just like, "Yeah, I do like do whatever." And I was like, "Okay." So um, to get there, and then obviously I went to both Chicago and New York.
I
So
remember
at
you from both
Elmira's
of
camp,
those.
yeah, dude, it was like, I mean, I think we started talking more in Chicago, but
Yeah,
yeah, like at Elmira's camp, I mean, you guys, I felt bad for the goalies because then they cut like 34 of you or
yeah,
something.
like
Like,
40 after the first day.
yeah, so it's like, it's so, especially because like goalie's such like a solid position, like you need a good goalie. So like,
Yeah,
and there's one of the guys from that New York camp. I think he used to play in like Knoxville. He's playing for North Shore, so I'll probably see him tonight. Yeah, so played against him a couple times here, but yeah, man. I mean, I just went to the camp not knowing like what to expect, and then seeing like obviously the skill level, Guy, Daniel Johnson, and those guys that are just they're so amazing and they're so good hockey players. Um, so to see those guys and then like even some of their struggles, like I heard, maybe they didn't make it or they ended up asking for a release because of like playing time issues and stuff like that. Um, is pretty like crazy to me because they're like really good hockey players. Um, so yeah, I mean, I kind of just saw that, and then I think it was one of the scouts for Port Huron. I could be wrong. I definitely forgot. But one of the scouts pulled me aside afterwards, and he was like, "If you could learn how to like develop yourself as a hockey player, we would take you." And the SP, the Knoxville Ice Bears SPHL rep, was there, and he said the same thing. He's like, "Dude, I would like take you in a heartbeat if you would develop yourself, like just continue to develop." And there's guys at the camp that were like, because I'm 25 now, so I was like, I don't know like how much more time I have to develop and before I need to be like, all right, let me like find a career for real.
yeah.
And basically, yeah. So I just kind of was like, I took that all in and started like looking out for stuff. And then I heard about in Chicago's camp, the Kalkaska Battlers coach Cody was there, and I don't think he would have picked me up, but like I wanted to at least go to camp there too, just to like maybe get worked out. I know Sean said that he has that like skating machine, whatever, and he's like, "We'll clean up your stride, we'll help you out." So it's just they're just beauties. But then I heard about the U, and I was actually talking to Pittsburgh and Boston, and my boy from one of the vet camps, Ben Cunningham, he lives in Pittsburgh, so he's like, you got a place to stay with me if you come out. And basically, I went out there, tried out, and this is where it got kind of weird. Is the coach was like, "I really liked you. Like, I think like borderline, we're gonna take you. Like, obviously, I got to
Yeah.
clear some stuff up with the owner, but like, we like what we saw." And then the owner said the same thing. He's like, I felt like you held your own. So I was like, cool. He's like, give us a couple days to put the like roster together. I was like, cool. So, I'm waiting in Pittsburgh like for a few extra days because like I'm waiting. And he finally puts it out and my name just wasn't there. And I was like, oh man. So I texted the owner on the side just because like I didn't want to be like that guy in the group chat that's, bitching.
Yeah.
And I was just like, hey, like, I just want to see like, is there something I did wrong? Like something you could have seen better? Like, and he was like, and this is kind of like where hockey becomes a business. He's like, we really liked you. We thought you held your own. Personally, I think we just kind of maybe wanted to go a different route, and they did, and I think they're having success right now. I think they just beat like Niagara Falls. I think they beat them like 8-2 or something crazy like that. So they're, I mean, obviously like they have a vision and they kind of know what they want to do. And it's actually funny because after that I was 100% like, hey, I'm done. Like I'm just gonna go home. Like I got offered a job back home. I was like, I'm gonna take it. And all my friends, like all my boys, and even like girls I had met on like a night out at the bar. Because I don't know if you saw the Insta stories, we were guys going crazy up there
Oh yeah.
in Colorado. So even like a bunch of people were just like reaching out to me and just were like, hey, like you have to push through, like you have to go to Boston at this point, like
Yeah.
you're not giving up. And one of my friends like kind of called me. His name's Jed, and he's just an amazing human being. And they were all the boys in the group chat were like, no, you're going, like you don't have a choice. And then Jed called me and basically was like, listen, like a lot of things happen in the pros where it becomes a business and stuff like that, but like if you really feel like you can make it, like go for it, but like if you don't, then don't. But a part of me was just like, I know what he's saying is right, but like I don't want to. And then I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm already on the East Coast, like let's go to Boston. So I got out here to Boston and met with the owner for drinks, which I thought was a test. He was like, yo, let's go meet for drinks. I was like, yo, is he about to like like not even let me try out? And then no, he's a super cool guy. And we met for drinks and then we went obviously to the tryout. And our coach, we have a lot of skill on our team. So I'm not like a starting guy. Like I'm not saying a ton of minutes, but like, we've got a dude that we got two dudes that played in the SP together. And then we just have like just a bunch of hockey talent, like the Baldinos,
Yeah.
honestly, the best players on the team. They're so funny. They're like super crazy good. Um, and then, we have like CJ Grinnell, obviously, and, his brother Mike's on Chicklets. So we got some beauties there. But overall, yeah, like our coach took me out for drinks. He was like, listen, we're going to take you. And I was like, hey, love it. Honestly, just because of what happened in Pittsburgh, I'm not like set on it. So like if it's like something where it's not going to happen, let me know now. I'm not going to have any hard feelings. But yeah. And then I got back to Colorado, kept in touch with them. And then the GM at the time, she had texted me and said like, hey, are you ready to sign? We're finalizing the contracts. And as soon as I signed, they like posted me that day. I was like, oh, so now it's like official. So
It's like the real
it was,
deal.
yeah. So I remember like all the boys kind of chirped me a little bit on Colorado and the Warriors. They were like, oh, hey, look at this superstar coming. I was like, oh, relax. So I had to kind of do something there. But I think it was pretty special because even though you get chirped, I mean they don't chirp you if they don't care, right? So
Yeah.
and everybody sent me at least one serious text or even in the group chat saying congratulations and stuff like that. And yeah, so it's been pretty cool. I mean, they still like reach out to me all the time, and obviously still be on the roster with them for the off season is pretty cool that they're allowing me to do that and keep my whole jersey number and everything like that. Not like you just gotta wear random when you get here.
Yeah.
It's been pretty cool. So yeah, Boston is. I appreciate them for taking me, and I mean I'm excited. I think obviously this group is really special. I feel like we have all the right pieces to win. It's putting it together. We have a team that can do a lot here, and we're already a family. I mean, I remember these guys just brought me in, and I'd never been to mass, and dudes are like, "Hey, do you need a ride? Do you need this?" Like the Baldinos had me over on Thanksgiving, and they got me drunk really fast. But um, they're like just such a great group of guys. I mean, it's hockey's one of those sports like you could literally not know anybody's name, walk into the room,
Yeah.
you're just one of the boys. So it's such a beautiful thing. Obviously to have that and have those guys to be around you is pretty incredible.
Yeah. That's awesome. And like as you said, like as you get like to the pros, like it's at the end of the day, it's a business. But if you really think you have it and you really think you can do it, you just have to push through it. And it attests for how much you love the game too. Because if you didn't love the game, you'd give it
Yeah.
up like that, but you obviously you really love the game. And in the minor leagues, that's what it's all about. It's just everyone loves the game, and we're all doing it for the love of the game, because obviously we're not all doing it for the money.
Exactly, right? Like, I mean, I think we're getting like 150 a game in the regular season, but right now I think we get like $50 a game. But I mean, like, it's like obviously other things will change too. Like, we're still waiting on like sponsorships to kick in and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So once those things happen, I think they're saying we may make a little more. It just right now I'm just trying to like just play pro hockey, man, and have fun with it. Like, for a kid that just started playing 4 years ago to be here to me is like, this is like my NHL dream, like, because obviously I
Yeah.
did not start early enough to make the show. So to me, this is like, it's just special. I mean, it's so special. And then meeting like you guys, and like you have this awesome podcast, and meeting like the Sean Doyles and the Qs, like those guys are beauties. And then even the guys from Fed, like Guy, Daniel, my boy Justin Schultz, I got to shout him out real quick. What a beauty! I mean, we keep in contact, and he's playing over at Mercyhurst right now, and then I think his goal is to go overseas, hopefully. So but I mean, he still texts me when he's like sent me, a couple workouts, and just some things to do in the off time, and even I mean, just a couple like basic skating drills. Just been very like, hey, you could just probably do this and stuff. I'm still waiting on my Mercyhurst hoodie from him, but other than that, yeah, like I think he's definitely an amazing person, and he was funny as fuck at the Fed camp. Like, he's just trying to fight everybody, so I thought it was hilarious. But yeah, no, he's definitely a big dude, and got a hard shot and stuff like that. So he's going places over there.
Yeah, and like you're also going places. You're also getting better every day, and throughout the first couple games, you also scored your first pro goal. So like, what was getting your first goal out of the way like?
Oh man, it was electric, and we're definitely losing. I think I put us like we were down. I think we were down by two, and I put us like down by one. But basically, preseason game, like I said, North Shore is a physical team. I think we lost, a few guys to injury throughout the game, so like our bench got like short really fast,
Yeah.
and it was just like the Baldinos, man. I told you they're just beauties. Like, so he's like doing all the grinding work. He's putting the hands clinic on, and he's going for it. And then I was like kind of like to the side in front of the net, and backdoor tap ins, and he's looking
No
at me the
slap
whole
shot.
way. No slap shot this time. He's listen, my slap shot. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. All right. But yeah, so I'm like just waiting there, and finally like he makes a move, and my defender, who's like in front of the net with me, like pushes off to him, and he just sends me like, I'm surprised the goalie didn't try to like poke it away, like the most beautiful cross crease pass, and I just like backdoor tapped it in, and the Sully was pretty electric too. Like, I honestly always thought like, when you get your first pro goal, like you got to do something crazy, or you got
Yeah.
to do whatever, and for me, like I could just smile and like point at him the whole time. That's all I could do. So we're skating into like the boards or whatever, and I'm just like still so in shock, and I'm just like pointing at him. And if you see the pictures and zoom in, he's like, and then he like just jumps into my arms, and like all the boys jump on me. It was pretty electric. And then obviously you ran the line and stuff like that. And then I think my Instagram post, I said like, the couch was like, dude, my mom said you could spend the night and she's gonna make pizza rolls, and it's just like all of us smiling. So electric. So obviously it's pretty awesome to have guys like that. And that goal was just, I mean, it was all by him. Like, literally, like, he just does all the work. So it's pretty awesome when you have guys that can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. What a great way to score your first pro goal, and nothing better, especially when the place is electric. Like it's always a good time scoring your first.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just pretty crazy. I think if I score on a road game, I think I'm gonna try to do like the Logan Cooley against Canada, like the "Can you hear me" or something. I don't know, maybe I don't know.
Have a
But
celly for every goal you score.
yeah, we gotta plan out something here. So I think it'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's unreal. But like the slap shot that we're talking about, I remember at the free agent camps. Think it was Binghamton. Like I first noticed it was you just get to the hash marks and you just put on a full clapper and it'd be straight into my chest on the logo. And like so, like
Oh man,
everyone's giving it to you because you're just hitting the goalies in the chest.
Yeah, so I think it's actually pretty funny. Like I said, obviously I just started playing hockey about 4.5 years ago now. And I like before the Binghamton camp, because I was already in contact with Coach Sherwood a little bit, and I sent him a clip. He's like, "Dude, are you sure you want to come? Like, I'm gonna be honest, you're probably not gonna get picked up." And I was like, "Dude, like, I'd still love to come, like, whatever." Also, I heard Columbus was gonna be there, and whatever reason they couldn't show, but I thought it was pretty special still to be able to just go and like you can always learn. Like that's the biggest
Yeah.
beauty of any sport, right? You can always learn. And so I was at a Colorado Warrior practice, and one of our guys, he has like I think the hardest slap shot I've ever seen, like ever. And he's like legit taking them from like the other end of the ice, and they're like on target to like the post and in or the goalie's chest or
Yeah.
whatever. So he kind of showed me like a little something. I'm still like learning how to control it and get it more on point. But yeah, so when I finally like kind of learned how to semi take one, I was like, oh, that's all I'm doing at the Binghamton camp. So like I like every chance I got with warm ups, all that stuff. I'm just full on like to the chest. And you know what? For being to the chest, it's pretty accurate. I just got
It
to figure out
is.
how to like make it go left and right so it's not in the chest. But I think and I mean these guys are helping with that. And warm ups, like I kind of come out and I just take a quick slap shot, and I've learned how to kind of control it better. It's just more so being able to translate that in the
Yeah.
game and stuff like that. So I feel like it's pretty special
Yeah.
to be
The
able
the
to have those
boys were
guys.
the boys were definitely chirping you, but it's all in good fun.
Oh yeah. And I got, oh yeah, I know Sean said it on his podcast. I want to clear the air on mine. I definitely dropped the gloves at bingo and got my shit rocked. I'm not gonna lie to you. Definitely got clamped. So
What was it
basically,
true that you asked the social media person to record it?
listen, I can't comment, but it is definitely the truth. All right, 100%. Um, basically, I had never, and the reason I really wanted it to record wasn't just to like have. It was honestly to
Yeah.
see like what I did wrong because I had never been in a fight on skates. Like I like just started playing like and in the Warrior League, like you can't fight, like you can't hit. It's like a no contact league. So it's basically just like a hands clinic on deck.
Yeah.
Um, so when you try all those like fancy moves, you get better at them because nobody can hit you. So basically, like that's kind of where like I was trying most of the new stuff. Whatever. Yeah, so basically I can't remember his name, but he came in and like broke two sticks the first day and he was on the red team and we were talking and he's like half my size. So it was a bad look. Like, now that I realized like he didn't record it, like I'm glad. Or I think he recorded it and then deleted it or whatever. Um, but basically he comes over after Sherwood comes on the ice and he's like, being cute's not gonna get you to the pros. Like we need to see more physicality. And but no, yeah, basically um he was like, dude, should we like fight? And I was like, I mean, I guess we can. Like,
Why
I
not?
didn't really, I was just like, I don't really know like how the hockey fights go. So then I think it was Sherwood's dad was coaching us that day. The guy was like, you want to fight? I was like, yeah, let's do it. And so we started and I fell right away. Like, and then the ref was like trying to break it up, and the dude was like, no, no, like we gotta fight. And I was like, all right, cool, because I didn't get to swing. So
Yeah.
he got me like really like I think his first hit it was pretty like wild, and I'm surprised like I don't know what was going on in my head. I just didn't move, and he like got me good. And then I got I think one punch, and he got two more, and I like fell again, and very clearly like lost the fight. But also like learning how to balance fighting has been like unreal. Like we haven't done it so much in practice here, but like right now I'm like undefeated in fights here, and I've had three.
Nice.
Our coach is definitely making me like out to be some kind of goon that I don't want to be. But we have like that's the other thing. We have a lot of big dudes too. So like
Yeah.
I feel like it shouldn't always have to be me. And our captains just kind of had that talk with their teams, hey, like TJ can't be the only guy fighting, but I had three fights and a goal in 2 games. And I was like, dude, I got to chill for the league. Like, it's like, yo, this dude's got 15 minutes pims in like 2 games. Like, you got to go. Like, you're sussy to game or something. I don't know. So yeah, basically, just working on that. And I feel like I've gotten a better balance down. And, obviously, like playing with these guys here in Boston, like, they've worked with me on balance or like different ways to hold
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So, I mean, I think you saw the picture. Like, I didn't realize I stepped over the guy until I got the picture. Like, damn, that's kind of cold. Like, that's such a good look. So, um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, that Binghamton camp, that dude definitely like I got my shit rocked. I'm not afraid to admit when I lose, and he got me good.
Clearing
So
the
that was
air
pretty.
here. That's good.
You know what? And Sean, I know he chirped me a little bit, but like it was my truth to tell. So you know what? I love you, Sean. But yeah, I had to be the one to clear that up. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll definitely send this to Doyle when we're done. That's for,
Oh yeah.
and we'll get his reaction.
Oh yeah. He better text me or something. I don't know. I'll get something going here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But like before we wrap things up here, so like obviously you've been to the Fed free agent camps, and now you're playing in the Union Hockey League. So like, what are some of the biggest things you learned this season so far from the Fed camps and then the UHL as well?
Oh man. I think the biggest thing for me is just like not that I felt like I was ever gonna like give up on hockey, but like um I feel like just like not giving up on the play is a kind of a big thing. Like I feel I feel like at some points in the Fed camp, especially in Binghamton's with playing 3-on-3, like a couple of us would like make a mistake and I would see like not just myself, but like kind of some other guys maybe like give up on
Yeah,
the play a little bit or whatever. And or they'll just like change right away and it'll be like a bad change. And I mean, I know our coaches at the Binghamton camp like definitely said like a couple times like those are horrible changes. Like you can't do that shit in bed. So basically I think for us that was kind of like a huge for at least for me, I feel like it was a huge motivational boost, obviously, to like to hear that and to like actually like, try to take it into consideration. And I mean, in the U, it's been a little bit different. Obviously, we're not like the Fed, so it's like learning how to. For me, it's just learning like how to be better about it. And like, I mean, in practice, like I kind of get mad at myself sometimes if I feel like I fuck up something that maybe I should have like done correctly or
yeah,
done anything different. So I think for me, it was kind of just one of those things that I feel like the biggest thing for me, yeah, was just like learning how to like take it on and then just being yourself. Like as a hockey player, like I mean, as an athlete, you're kind of like no matter what sport you play, you kind of know when you're an athlete, right? Like you just
yeah,
know that about yourself. And so when I started playing hockey, just to become one of the boys, and I mean, like I'm 25, like I'm a grown man, and like Sean and Q and all these guys that have like reached out or like told me like, hey, we'll work out together in the off season or we'll do something or just basically willing to teach me the game later in life because I didn't get to play as a kid. It's been extremely like eye opening, and that's something obviously like I want to be able to like hopefully like learn more about the game and add those values to my life. Like,
yeah.
when people are whatever, just being helpful, I guess, is kind of what I'm looking for. But yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, and like we're all hard on ourselves because we want to be the best version that we can be, and we want to be the best
Yeah.
athlete that we can be. So it's just about using those experiences as learning curves, and then growing on it every single day at practice or try
Yeah.
something new at a game if you're comfortable with it, and just like is you're just learning every single day.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the biggest thing is like just always like, and that's the biggest thing is always being open to like criticize. I think
Yeah,
that's another thing I got taught is like, sometimes like the coaches, like, especially at like the camps, like a lot of those coaches didn't say anything. I think I was on the red team at Elmira's camp and we had like the Elmira coaches. So those dudes were like real talkative, but like I was hearing like
yeah,
from some of the other teams, like the Watertown guys, they were just like, go play. Like, we're not going to say anything. And, some of those guys were just kind of doing those things, whatever. So, just like being open to it. And like, I think the Elmira coach pulled me aside during one of the games. And he was like, when you're going to make this move, like try this instead of that. And I think like the next shift I tried it and it worked. I mean, we didn't score, but like it worked to open up time and space. And that's like the big thing I was working on for myself is
yeah.
just being able to create that opportunity for myself and my teammates.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is just creating opportunities for not only yourself but for your teammates. And if you have more room to do stuff, there's going to be a lot more scoring chances than if you're all in a tight situation.
Oh yeah. I mean, for sure. That's, you got to do the little things right. So you got to build up to get there. That's why I watch so
Yeah,
many Trevor Zegers highlights. I'm just trying to do what he does.
it's all about the little
uh,
things because it really does matter at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, and you can see very, especially in a sport like hockey that's so fast paced. Like when like one little thing goes wrong,
Yeah,
like you can see. Like I was at the BU women's hockey game last night, and they were winning, 1-0 against Northeastern, and then the Northeastern scored because like one of the defensemen, like she didn't play her position right, and you could just see that one little hiccup like cost them to tie the game, and then obviously Northeastern went on to win it in overtime on another like just little mistake, like just and if they're making those as like D1 athletes. Like,
Yeah.
people make them at all levels. You see it in the pros, you see it in minor leagues, stuff like that. So, um, just being open to criticism and like, letting the people, who know the game or know at least what they're talking about, provide that to you, to be able to be better. So yeah, I think that's pretty much what some of the biggest things I took away for. Because at first I was like, one kid at one of the Fed camps, and there was a kid with like the fishbowl playing defense. Like he tried to say something. I was like, dude, like no offense, but like you're like bad, like you're really bad. Um, so like, and I'm a hard guy on myself. I'm like, dude, I know I'm
Yeah.
not good, but like it was just one of those things that I was like, I'd rather like hear from the coach, and then the
Yeah.
coach like would be the one to say it. So yeah,
Yeah, it's a game of capitalizing on those mistakes, and
yeah,
because once you get like that's a matter of a winner or a loss in tight games like that.
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, but TJ, this is a great spot to wrap things up here. So thank you again for coming on the show. I appreciate your time, and I want to wish you the best of luck with the rest of the season and in your game tonight.
dude, thanks so much for having me. Like I said, I've been excited to get on here. So just thank you. It's like such an honor to be on here. And yeah, I mean, good luck with Watertown. Like, I mean, I really do hope everything works out there and, you guys get to the higher levels and stuff like that. Maybe, who knows? We'll train in the off season together or something. We'll get something going here.